Yay, the microphone works after me unplugged it and everything. I'm going to add a note that today's stream is probably going to be a little short as soon as my little bot tweets it out. Should happen any second now. Let's see, notifications, style system, theme UI, carbon can go away, starter. This is something else. This is the core log theme, which I think is what I'm going to do for now. Yeah, let's work on that. And then these can all go away. We can open up a nice little thing here. I wonder if the bot is not working. No, I guess it failed. Oh well. Doesn't matter. Gatsby. I think we should still be on that branch. Dope. This is from last week, so should be good. Tests are not passing. I think there's some lint issues. Yeah, the base path thing we're going to have to remove. That's fine. Know about that. So let's get into the themes directory. Let's set up streaming so we're a little cleaner on the CLI. And then yarn workspace, Gatsby starter blog theme develop. And I'm expecting this to error because it was erroring last time we did it, and that's sort of what we're going to fix. So Gatsby theme blog has generated no Gatsby nodes. Do you need it? That seems like a warning that we want to get rid of eventually. Gatsby theme blog tried to define the GraphQL type blog post, which has already been defined by the plugin gatsby-theme-blog-core. If I remember correctly, that is because the workspace is using a different version than the version we have locally, which means that we need to fix that. So let's code in this directory. Volume is pretty low. I can turn that up. It's louder now, yeah? Hey Max, hey Lacoste. At least compared to other streams. Biscardi Web Dev Wednesday streams back to back. Oh, man. You're deaf now? Is it actually that loud? Okay, I'll keep it where it was. Hey Summit, how's it going? It's Joseph, right? Okay. Cool. So we're doing gatsby-theme-blog-core. Don't think we need this. Right now, the issue is that the work that we have done, which I don't know why I closed that window because that was important in terms of how things go. So we have a draft PR here for Gatsby theme blog core. And the draft PR has Gatsby theme blog core implementation in it. We haven't quite done the part where we put Gatsby theme blog on top of Gatsby theme blog core. And that's what I'm going to do right now. And right now, we have an issue where the versions in our workspace are not matched up. So that's what I'm going to do first. Got a call back from a job I applied for in San Francisco. Just a call, but it feels like a victory. It is. It's a small victory. You got to take those, especially in the job hunt. The job hunt takes a lot out of you. So let's see. So I'm gonna go look in the Gatsby starter. The Gatsby starter blog theme is the one that we want, and then we have Gatsby theme blog here at 1.0. Let's see what Gatsby theme blog is around here. This is at 0.0.11, so that's a problem. So this needs to get bumped. We'll just bump it to like 1.2 or something like that, right? And then we'll re-yarn, and that will use the version from local instead of the NPM version. Digging the new stream layout. Yeah, thanks, man. I did it this weekend, or last weekend. There's a whole animation that goes from the starting screen to this one. But, yeah. Got my After Effects on, just like Jason. Applied to about 80 positions. Yeah, that's a lot. But you got to keep going. You got to get that job, and then the next one will come easier, and the next one will come easier. Getting in is the toughest part, for sure. I didn't even get a job for a long time. I just did like really, really shitty contract work for, I don't know, a while. Cool. So Gatsby theme-blog-core is running. Actually, the fact that that just worked by default is awesome. We do have to make a couple more changes in Gatsby theme blog to get these templates to render. Where's Trevor? Trevor's preparing for his Web Dev Wednesday. He needs 5 hours to prepare, obviously. I don't know. I hope he's skating somewhere or something, away from a computer. That'd be cool. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We have Gatsby theme-blog-core here. Okay. So what we have here is templates in Gatsby theme-blog-core that are post and posts. One thing that we need to do is shadow those. So we're going to create a Gatsby theme-blog-core directory, and inside of it we'll create a templates folder, and we'll create that as a directory, hopefully. Excuse me while I switch accounts. Okay, we're going to move this templates folder in, well, yeah, I'm going to move this into Gatsby theme-blog-core. Update imports for moved file templates. Yeah, do that. Sure. Hopefully that works. I've never used that functionality before. I don't know. I just clicked the button and I don't know what it did in VS Code, so that's great. So let's rerun this, and hopefully we get the new templates used. But really, we don't want them to be templates. We want them to just be components, because we don't really need the templates that are in Gatsby theme-blog-core. We don't need to override those. So this will actually probably break. Yep, there we go. So our Gatsby node in somewhere. Can't find the template file. Oh, because I'm moving them around in gatsby-theme-blog-core. Why am I doing that? How do I? Oh well. So I messed stuff up. I was working in the wrong project, or in the wrong. Yes, update imports. No such file or directory. Oh, that's not good. Oh no, move it up one more. Come on, you can do it, VS Code. I believe in you. All right, let's delete this folder because this is not a folder we need. That's going to be a recursive algorithm there. So let's go into Gatsby theme blog, which is where we need to make these changes. New folder, theme blog core, and we'll make this. So what we want to do here is the templates in Gatsby theme blog core contain all of the functionality that we want. And we don't really need to do anything, but we also don't want to break people. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to create a yeah, I don't know if I want to do this because this won't do the query unless you do it directly. So we'll do components here. So Gatsby theme blog core components, and then the components will override with post and posts from Gatsby theme blog. In this case, I think we can actually get rid of those two templates because we don't really need them. And the components that we'll use are these two. So let's move these two over. By doing a new file creation here. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to maintain the file system API from Gatsby theme blog so that anybody who has overridden stuff will still work. We'll get rid of these templates, I suppose. Well, we'll keep them around just in case we have to look at them. But from this, we're going to do an import post from / components post, right? No, / because we're importing something from our own project. If VS Code decides that it wants the autocomplete to work, otherwise not. So that's up, and then we go into components, and then we go into post. So now we've imported our post component, and we're going to export default props post. Right. And then what we're going to do here is try to replicate the translation that happened in the original posts, I think. So there's data, there's location, and there's previous and next. I wonder if we can just use this function, actually. So this is our new component. I can get the VS Code window to be correct. This is not going to come from path context. It's going to come from data, and data is going to have a couple of different things. So we'll pass in all of the data under data, but since this also takes two other, we'll make it a little bit more obvious what's going on here. Equals data. Let's take a look at the template from Gatsby theme blog core to see what data we're getting. Actually, are we running it? Yeah, we're running it. Okay. So in data, we get site and we get all blog post, right? Or this is actually not the right page, but that's fine. We can go look at the file. So here we get blog post, previous, next, site. And then when we're in Gatsby theme blog, overriding that component, we can get blog post, previous, next. Right, because I think the other data is the same. This needs to go away, that needs to be this. What else am I missing? I'm missing an extra one of these? No, I'm not. What did I do wrong? What's the syntax error here? Prettier is not happy with me, so I did something wrong. Oh, right, this. We don't have that anymore. Oh, I didn't turn off my notifications. No. So we'll get rid of blog post, and we'll just take previous and next off and do that. And that shows us our little switcheroo here. So let's just check post, site, both come off data. Where is, okay, so post is blog post, right? So we'll swap that out too. And we'll make this sort of forward compatible, I suppose. Like we can do data post. And that should work. And let's get rid of posts for now so that we can test this out. Cool. So let's get this running, see if it works. ESLint doesn't like me apparently. Go away. Okay, React, obviously. Not technically required, but that ESLint rule requires it, so. So let's see what this does. And then we have, what, slash my second post is the post. So let's go check that out. Looks like there is a problem here. Cannot read slug of undefined. So let's go see where we're reading slug from. Nope, nope, stop, stop. Stop opening stuff, please. Thank you. Where's slug? Slug isn't used here. Why isn't slug used here? Post footer use slug, maybe? Gatsby themes, Gatsby theme blog, source components, post. This is the post that we pulled in. So where's slug? Post footer, of course. So slug, previous.node.slug, and next.node.slug. So these are no longer .node. So I think, like, we could go backwards compat here and not, but they are actually just nodes, and I don't like the fact that we're doing .node, and that would be just confusing to people who come across it, so I'm going to remove that. And then here we go. So we've just overridden the gatsby-theme-blog-core template that renders, or not the template, basically the React component that renders the blog post. And now we have the Gatsby theme blog. So we're going to do the same thing we just did, and we have the back and next and things like that too. So I guess hello world was the first one. Still works. Everything's there. Cool. Looks like we might need to do something about the syntax highlighting. But let's move on to posts before we do that. So here's posts. Let's get rid of all of these different files and things. Okay. So now in gatsby-theme-blog-core, we have this posts, right? So it's all blog post, site metadata, and then we have stuff. In Gatsby Theme Blog, we have a posts component that renders this that requires location, posts, site title, and social links. So if we go back to the social links are not well specified here. So let's go look at what our template originally looks like. So that gets passed in through the context in Gatsby Theme Blog, which we don't have around anymore because we deleted the Gatsby node. But we can go look at it on the current repo. Oh, we're not in packages, we're in themes. Whoops. Themes. Gatsby theme blog, Gatsby node. Gatsby node shows us that we created our posts page with something called social links. Social links is just social renamed. Title is just, our site title is just title renamed out of the metadata. So we'll just do that. You can see how some of these sort of compatibility things that we have to do can get a little hairy. Cool, so let's create this file. We need to create posts.js. Going to be the same kind of thing as posts, so we're just going to copy it over, except that this will be posts, and that the content that comes in here from Gatsby Theme Blog Core is going to be data, right? It's basically just going to be data, data.site and data.allblogpost. Cool, let's get rid of that post, and then we can look at the way that we're expected to pass this in. So instead of all blog post, this is posts. So location, posts, site title, social links. Location equals location. Posts equals all blog post. Site title equals site.title. Social links equals site.social. And I think that should work. How long do you think you'll be streaming today? I'm about to get out of these workflows and work on my theme, but I do have a question for you regarding my usage of environment variables. Repo is not public yet, just to avoid embarrassment. Figure I'd pop back in here a bit. It's going to be a shorter than normal stream today because I have something I have to go do. I don't necessarily know when I'm going to have to go do it. So if you have a question, I would ask it now, or you can ask me on Twitter, and I'm happy to answer on Twitter too. Yeah. Post.map is not a function, so posts needs to be a certain thing, and it's not. Posts in this case. Let me make this thing public real quick. Okay. Posts is a node. Node is post. So it's pages.edges. And the return value that we're getting from gatsby-theme-blog-core is going to be all blog post.edges is what we need to pass in. Can I read map of undefined? Sure. Home footer. Where's home footer? Home footer. Map. Social links.map. Okay, what do we think social links came out as? Inspect and go in the console. Doesn't look like, oh, there's a undefined. Undefined? That's not cool. So did I just mess this up? Let's just log data. This will all fail. So we've got data, site metadata, site.site metadata. That would be it. Cool. And now we have our thing. So yeah, now we have, I thought that I could said Gatsby. Okay, so locally .m is great. Production, the process.env object is empty in the context of the theme files, but wide open on the demo site. Okay, no problem, pass the theme option. Then I'm querying for it via use static query and shoving it into my request. My question is regarding potential security holes with this method. The first thing that I will tell you is if you're using options, then if you use options in a theme and you have a Gatsby browser in your site, anything that you put in through those options will get exposed because it gets passed in as an option. So that's the major thing to look out for there. If you have like a secret. And source component skeleton. So you're using environment variables. Are you using .env.development or do you have a .env.production as well? It doesn't look like they're checked in here, so I wouldn't know. Just .env.development. I think you have to have a .env.production then. So I think the reason it's empty is because you don't have production environment variables. That would be my guess anyway. Source, components, skeleton. So yeah, I mean, if you're using an API key here, that has to be exposed, so that's fine. For prod, I have them in netlify and vars, but you still have to... So if you're using them in here, what you have here is Okay, so you're saying it's in demo Gatsby config. So if node env is not production, then you use .env.development. If it is, then you use process.env.api key. So if you use process.env.api key, it'll go through options. And what you're doing over here is the API key, site metadata.api key. It's not in site metadata though. Like your query here is query data.site.site-metadata.api key. So I assume Gatsby theme weather puts it in the site metadata. That's iffy. So that probably happens in Gatsby node, right? In theme Gatsby config, you put it in the site metadata. API key or process.env.api key. Oh, right. Why do you have API key equals null? Well, in any case, if you're setting process.env.api key in your environment variable when you run, it should be, you're saying you're logging it out here? If you log it out in your Gatsby config, it's empty. Okay. But if you log it out in the demo Gatsby config, it's there. So if you log it out here, you get process.env.api key. Well, if it's here and then it's passed in as an option, right? And then that should get to, what did I do here? So if it's passed in as an option, it should get here. That API key should be defined because it's passed in as your option here. And it is here. At which point you're overriding it with null because null doesn't get overridden like that. Would be my guess anyway. Destructuring only works on undefined. So my guess is that the reason that you're getting it is because in development it's actually defined as an env var and it hits there or something like that. And then when you pass it in as an option, you get nulled and then you don't get the env var or something like that. But yeah, API key equals null will blow that away. So that's your thing. Let's see. So this is all working. Our blog post is working. Our posts are working. Yeah, no problem. Always happy to help. So I'm going to commit this and push it up because it works. So if we look back at what we did, yeah, see you, man. If we look back at what we did here, what we have is gatsby-theme-blog-core. Gatsby-theme-blog-core is going to be the parent theme of Gatsby-theme-blog. Core has 2 templates that query for post and pages, and 2 components that render those queries. We happen to render those queries with a JSON.stringify so that you can see the data if you need to. We go into Gatsby theme blog, and what we do is we override those 2 components. We override them with actual React components that are being used to actually render stuff. And those components are just importing... Oh, let me get rid of this console log. These 2 components are just importing the ones from our components to use, such that anybody who's currently using Gatsby theme blog, if they have overridden post or posts, still gets the same thing and should still work. So we've maintained API compatibility with our components in our components folder. But we've also now replaced the infrastructure with gatsby-theme-blog-core, which gives us a little bit more flexibility. And now one other thing that we should do at some point is create a second theme off of Gatsby theme blog core that uses things that are not in Gatsby theme blog. And even further than that, what I want to do is when we do... Where's the Gatsby node? When we do this, right, I want to make blog post an interface type such that we can start thinking about adding multiple implementations on top. So if we make it an interface type in Gatsby theme blog core, what that means is that when people want to use Contentful, they can still use Gatsby theme blog core, and all they have to do is convert the Contentful type into a type that implements the blog post interface, and it just all works. So this core theme opens up a couple options for us, basically. See how I'm doing on time here. Okay. And since that we're at sort of a good stopping point here, I'm going to stop the stream here today. Make it a bit of a shorter one. And then next time when we do stream, probably Friday, we'll take this type, we'll make it an interface, and we'll see how to do all of that extra data schema customization goodness. So yeah. Thanks everyone for hanging out, and I'll see you Friday.